While it took a very long time to be released, the initial 53-man roster for the Kansas City Chiefs is here. And four rookie offensive linemen have made the 53-man roster. Not something I expected. Ethan Driscoll, as we see right here, number 75, making it as a guy with a ton of upside, hugely athletic, can get out and move in space. All the things that Andy Reid and Andy Heck love to see in their offensive linemen. Great to see these young players make it, along with CJ Hansen, who is going to be a rotational backup guard, playing left and right guard, along with Hunter Norzad, who we've talked about is already taken over the backup center position, but can also play left guard and right guard. And you guys know Kingsley Suamataia is the starting left guard for the Kansas City Chiefs. So that's what we have. There's some surprises that they were able to do. Ryan is going to cover the Cam Thomas trade from the Arizona Cardinals. And today we're talking about the surprise that many people didn't really expect, including myself, even though we talked about Irv Smith possibly not making this roster. Payton Hendershot, formerly drafted out of Indiana by the Dallas Cowboys, who had some injury problems in 2023, but he's played as a rookie in the entire season for 2022 for the Dallas Cowboys, and then 8 games last season. So Andy Reid and Matt Nagy decided it was time to let go of Irv Smith and bring in someone who has far more upside in every single aspect. And that's what we're going to talk about today on the RGR Football Channel. My name is Daniel Harms, senior film analyst for you guys. And like I said, we're talking about Payton Hendershot today. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that sub button so you get updated on everything that we do here every single week, as we are now full steam ahead to the regular season coming our way. Allow me to earn a like from you guys as we get into the tape, because that's what this is all about. It's about watching the tape. It's about finding why the Chiefs wanted to trade for Payton Hendershot. So right here, you're going to see him. He's lined up in line with the offensive line. That's not like his most comfortable position. He can play in line, but the Cowboys moved him around a ton, 12, 13 personnel. That added extra tight end. You're going to see here, one of the big things that they used him for was stretching the field vertically, just a deep over route. This is something we see from the Kansas City Chiefs wide receivers all the time, where you have a wide receiver here and maybe more of a reduced split, and you want to attack this safety here. So you have one do a deep route here, another one go the opposite side of that safety, trying to make him choose, right? We've seen that a lot. That's one thing that the Chiefs want to get down with these tight ends that they have. They've drafted Jared Wiley. They still have Noah Gray, who's been a good number 2 tight end for them. But as you can see here, there is some vertical speed and some speed down the seam that can be accessed with Payton Hendershot. So while he's not open, obviously he definitely thought he was open, and I love that confidence. You guys remember last year in the AFC Championship game with Isaiah Likely saying, "I'm open," even though he was covered with 3 guys. Gotta love that confidence. If you don't have that confidence in yourself, who else is gonna have that confidence in you? And then this is what I really liked about watching the Dallas Cowboys offense is, even though they went 13 personnel quite frequently, like the Chiefs do, this is 13 personnel, but all 3 of their tight ends to one side, and they're all split out differently. So you've got Payton Hendershot here in this reduced split. And this is where I like to see the route running and some of the hand usage come through with him, because he's got an inside leverage defender on him right here, where he's going to release to the outside in close quarters and still get upfield and be open immediately. He doesn't get the ball there, obviously, because Dak gets the ball out pretty quickly. But if we're looking at single high safety here from the Chicago Bears, this is from 2022, by the way. I watched some 2022, some 2023, and then the preseason game against the Detroit Lions, where he played about 20, 25 snaps, I believe. But if we're looking at a single high safety right here, you have the opportunity to attack down the field, right? Especially when eyes from Dak, who's very good at manipulating these safeties in the back end here. You can get down the left-hand side with a nice job here. But watch again the hand usage from Payton Hendershot with this inside, more of a press kind of linebacker on him. So right there, he swipes down with that right hand as he's releasing to the outside. So there's that. He's going to try and get right around here. So he's able to get himself right through that defender and kind of eke out of the way of the other one, and then just speed release right by him and get upfield, which would have been, a touchdown here for a really big play. So I like the fact that they use him in so many different ways as a motion man, as the 13 personnel, as 12 personnel, extra tight end, attached, detached, reduced split, all these different things that they do with Payton Hendershot. Very versatile player. He measured in 6'4", about 254 pounds. So he's got some room to probably put a little bit of weight on. He's played up to 265 pounds in his career. So I think that it might help with a little bit of the physicality of the game. He does have some physical limitations in blocking, which we're going to talk about here in a little bit. But I apologize for the lapse in motion right here. It's just part of my I was just trying to figure out how to get this in working right, and it doesn't really affect the play all that much. You can see here he's taking a wheel route out of that reduced split bunch formation where he's the motion man, so he motions back and forth from out here in and back out. And what that does is it lets the offense know that you're got zone coverage. So you have a zone defender in Josh Allen, which we know Josh Allen to be a defensive end. You're going to find him one-on-one. What do the Chiefs love to do with not just their wide receivers, but their tight ends? They want to get them matched up with the defensive ends, with linebackers, with slower players. And how do you clear it out, right? Clear out routes are perfect. You're going to see both these outside players go out and in, go up and inward right here, just clearing out these defenders over the deep parts of the field right here. So both of these players right here are going to end up going with those receivers. And you have, again, we have basically one-on-one coverage with the tight end Payton Hendershot against Josh Allen right here. So we have a little bit of sell to the flat with the head, the eyes. I'd like to see a little bit more intention in that department. He is 25 years old. He'll be 26 this year. So he's coming into his third year in the league, but he's going to take it to the wheel. So we know he's got the speed to be able to get there. So right there, a little bit of fade to the outside quickly, showing that he's going to go down or go out to the flat. That clear out route clears out the wheel route out the right-hand sideline, and Hendershot does a nice job of coming down with the football there through the attempt at the swipe at the football from Josh Allen. So there, again, motioning inside, get a little bit of feel for what the defense is showing you, and then ball put on the money to Payton Hendershot in the end zone, who catches it for a touchdown. He had 2 touchdowns in his career, one in the red zone, one here against the Jacksonville Jaguars. So he's not a very accomplished receiver. I think he is a good receiver. If I had to say it right now, I'd say he's a better receiving tight end than he is a blocking tight end. But that's not to say that he can't be a blocking tight end in terms of having more of an upside, because the effort is definitely there for Payton Hendershot. Here you got 12 personnel. He's the attached tight end on the right-hand side of the offensive line. And what I'm talking about is the effort, right? We talk about effort all the time. If you don't have the willingness to block, if you don't have any of that want, the physicality, the really the will to want to dominate your opponent, you're not going to be able to block, pass block, run block, any of that stuff. So while he's not the most effective blocker in terms of vertical displacement, I do, and in hand usage and trying to relocate and get that around, what I do like about his game is that he's more than willing in the run and in the pass. He's been a pretty good pass protector, only like a handful, 10 snaps throughout his career. But again, you're going to see here getting to the front of that defender here, trying to just get in front of him and torque him out of the way. This is what I'm talking about, hand. So you got hand up on the shoulder pad right here. What I want to see, relocate that underneath. Just get it underneath right here, and then you're going to have a better opportunity to keep that leverage. And he does do a nice job of keeping that inside leverage here so that the running back has some place he can go to open up that hole. But again, you see Dalton Schultz, on the other hand, was not able to do that. So he's able to fight off, create a wall on this side, which at the end of the day, for tight ends that are about 250, 54 pounds, you want them just to be able to hold up on that point of attack and be able to move, kind of torque, use that core strength and move guys out of the way instead of getting that vertical displacement. That's more of what the Chiefs are really looking for. And especially because you don't have a guy like Blake Bell on the roster, who is much more of a blocking type of tight end. And the Chiefs naturally don't have a ton of those right now. I think Noah Gray would be your best quote unquote blocking tight end. So we're going to see more of that usage from him this year. And you've got more 13 personnel from the Dallas Cowboys here. This is him on the left-hand side up at the top. And When we talk about blocking in space, right, you want to be able to get up to the second level or the third level in some cases, but not run past your landmark, because we see a lot of times offensive linemen overrun their blockers on the second level because they have to try to catch up to linebackers. So what I really appreciate about this type of a block is that he's got to get to Jaquan Brisker right here, number 9, but he also understands that the play is designed to come out and ideally to get all the way. Every run and every single play is blocked for a touchdown, right? That's ideally. It's not always going to happen that way, but what he understands is he needs to be able to prevent Brisker from getting to the outside so that Pollard has an opportunity to get there. So again, to the next level, he's got eyes initially to the inside. Okay, he's like, all right, is anybody coming up now immediately that I need to take care of? No. Now work to the third level with Jaquan Brisker and watch how he just kind of shuffles. He doesn't run there. He shuffles. He makes sure that he doesn't overrun his landmark. He still gets a body on him. He doesn't obviously take him out of the play completely, but you give him enough space to get Tony Pollard all the way to the outside where he can then take it to the house. So if there's a lot of kind of understanding that as a tight end who's not the most gifted blocker, you have to be able to just kind of get into space and then do enough to be able to say, I'm going to be out here. I'm not a liability. I can get this job done. So I really do appreciate the willingness to just just kind of get out there, but then keep shuffling to be in the right spot. On the other hand, we talked a little bit about his technique and how he can get better as a blocker because, again, still a young player. There's room for improvement all over the place. And we've seen Noah Gray grow from a guy who wasn't very good blocking to a guy who's, I would say, above average for a tight end blocking. Those are good things. So you think you might be able to get more out of him if he can develop. So this is all in all a not a very good play from him. He throws Jaquan Brisker into the running back. But what I want to focus on is his initial get off. So right here, he's leaning in the right direction, right? He has the ability to now come down here to leverage inside, get inside the defender, Jaquan Brisker, and then move him, at least anchor him out of the way, right? Just kind of use his lower body, or excuse me, his torque middle section, ab muscles. All of the names are escaping me right now, but use that torque to be able to pull him out of the way. But instead, he doesn't attack vertically enough. He kind of just moves to the side. And then when he does that, Brisker gets back to the inside right here. So he's got inside leverage. And that's where you don't want to be. You don't want to be pushing him towards where the running back has the opportunity to go. You want to try to get to the inside and leverage him outside. So if he used his torque a little bit more and he attacked the outside shoulder, or excuse me, the inside shoulder right here, if he was able to get on this shoulder and then relocate his hands and just kind of torque Jaquan Brisker around, you'd be much more of a successful block here, and you might have been able to get Pollard more yards because instead of having Brisker thrown onto him, he would have been able to maybe break an arm tackle there and then take it for a few extra yards. So all in all, as a blocking tight end, I wouldn't say he's a perfect or a very above average blocker. What he does possess that are above average are the ways that he gets into space and that he relocates and he doesn't overrun his landmarks. I really appreciate that. And they can use him as an H-back. You see right here, this is a nice designed play where it's just him as the H-back in the backfield. And they bring Turpin in motion and they end up handing it off to him. So basically like a sweep with a lead blocker right here. And this is, again, another example of where you can see that Hendershot does a very nice job of timing up his second level blocks. So I think that's one of the things that the Chiefs would like to be able to get out of him is to get the second level. He's not just trying to get there and make something happen and level a guy. He wants to make sure he's in the right position. So you saw him, again, kind of shuffle to the outside, but then get on the block and just get the job done. Let Turpin get there. And a really nice job, once again, from the second level blocking, the timing, all of it up at the right spot, and then just making sure he's in the right place to be able to get a body on a body so that Turpin can get extra yards. That's all you want to do. And I'm totally okay saying that he's probably not going to be a blocking tight end. He might even be the fourth guy. But in a 13 personnel set, I appreciate what he offers from a effort standpoint, and especially those second level and third level blocks. So then we can get to his route running chops, because coming out, he was much more of a pure receiving tight end, tight end. from Indiana. Going back to the days where Michael Penix was at Indiana, he really showcased Hendershot's abilities as a receiver, but he has a lot of naturally good footwork and attention to detail in what he does. So you're going to see here again in this reduced split where he's out off the line of scrimmage, the way that the Chiefs like to use their tight ends as well, there's some nuance to his game. We talked about his hand usage earlier, but here's now route intention, stem intention, and detail. So this obviously doesn't go to him, and there's a flag on the play anyway. But what I want you to notice is, once again, he is going to release outside with an inside leverage defender. How do you get inside a defender who's leveraged inside against you when you are trying to get here? You want to get to the middle of the field, right? So, all right, I have to do that. I'm going to release outside and move this defender off his spot, at least move him towards me, right? So there he goes. And then he's going to cut back to the inside. Over around him here. Boom, nice little swim move. And at the top of the route, this is giving yourself a two-way go. You know you have a man in trail now. Defender is in trail. He's right behind me. He's trying to keep up, right? So nice job by Payton to kind of chop his feet right here and then give that intention. I can go this way. I can go this way, or hell, I can keep going this way. So more of a three-way go from him. So he does a nice job of stopping, breaking down. It might be a little slow for me, but I understand what he's trying to do, and he breaks open over the middle of the field. This would have been a really big play if he gets the football, but he's not. So just attention to detail, those little things that you get, whether it's going to be a middle linebacker or a safety, I think he has enough route running chops to be able to do so. And he showcases some like legitimately good deceleration and hip speed, or hip sync. So again, 12 personnel this time. He's detached. It's more of a sniffer tight end on the end of the left-hand side. And he's just going to do a nice job of decelerating and then finding space. Catches the football here, 10-yard gain against the Lions in the preseason. So what, again, we're talking about a small sample size here. He doesn't have a ton of catches. He doesn't have a lot of yards. He has 2 touchdowns. But just the simple fact, get down, nice hip sync, and then he notices the quarterback is coming out of the pocket. Okay, I'm going to move with him. I'm going to get into space. I'm going to become available for my quarterback. That's all you can do. That's all you have to do. So really nice job once again of showcasing that he can do all of those things at a next level. So Hendershot is not a complete tight end. You're not coming into being the tight end 2, things like that. What he's offering is effort and attention to detail. I think those are the most important things that we can talk about with Payton Hendershot. So coming from the Dallas Cowboys in a situation where he's got a ton of different usages, abilities lined up in multiple different ways. I just remembered that was not the preseason game against the Lions. That's my fault. But regardless, what he's able to offer is reliability. He's going to be in the spots that you need him to be because I think he understands the game pretty well. And the fact that they used him in so many different ways in Dallas will attribute very well in Kansas City because we know that those tight ends play everywhere you're expected to know how to go out wide, how to be in the slot, how to be on the line, be a H-back at times. He can do all of those things. So he offers a lot of upside and good on a floor where you don't get that from Irv Smith. And I think that he's got a really big upside in terms of for this offense when we talk about that third tight end or fourth tight end role. So all things considered, a 7th round pick for a guy who's going to end up probably being your 4th, 3rd tight end, depending on the situation of the game. So all well and good investment on my part, in my opinion. And this is a guy who's going to elevate the floor of the 4th tight end, 3rd tight end spot. So I'm pretty happy with it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video breakdown, just kind of seeing what he can do, all the different ways that he can line up, where he can be used, the effort stuff. I think we'll see an improved effort in blocking in Kansas City as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I was able to earn a like from you for this as we continue to grow RGR and get better. We are going to have more content for you guys. We are here for the season. We're not going to have a film breakdown next week on Wednesday. It's going to be our very first game plan video. Chiefs, Ravens, you're not going to want to miss it. Make sure you guys are tuned in here at the RGR Football channel. My name is Daniel Harms once again. I'll see you guys next time.